Every great brand began as a collection of images on a board, a filtered stream of subconscious thought, art and visuals from the past, work from others that is respected, and ideas that for whatever reason latched onto that particular person, where he or she created a living, breathing entity changing the world. And I have found that the exact same process can be used to change your life. What do you want your 2025 to look like? I want you to really think, and you might have already done this because we're close to the new year, but really see what you want your 2025 to look like, actually look like, right? Because we get caught up in this resolution thing and writing goals down, and these tend to fizzle out by month 2. We don't feel anything from empty resolutions or a new regime that we found on an Instagram reel. We don't feel excited from this. Where we do feel excited is when we see ourselves living out scenes from our favorite films, becoming the main character, experiencing life as if you were Paul Newman in the 60s, your Instagram documentation looking like a 90s J. Crew ad, and those things might not speak to you at all, but that's the point of this video, is finding those things that make you light up. Because since I've done that for myself, since I've romanticized my process and added this aura to my goals, to my desires, I found that I live them out. I actually go after them. I have been mood boarding my life for the past 4 years, and the strangest thing keeps happening. I actually accomplish goals. I live out the images that I put up on these mood boards. I actually go experience it. I do these things, like Steve Jobs mapping the distinct approach of the Apple III as the Porsche of computers, eventually setting a standard for a world of a company. Or Phil Knight internalizing the outlook of Nike through a visit to Japan, to the Onitsuka shoe factory, the temple of Nike, and viewing a play by Aristophanes in which a warrior gives the king a new pair of shoes. Everything begins as a mood board. The thing that you hold every day, that you scroll on, that you talk on, that you send messages on, the things that you wear on your feet, everything began as a mood board, a collection of moments that you perceived, work from others that lights you up. Once you tap into that and you throw all of these things onto a board, giving yourself this bird's eye view perspective of your very own distinct brain dump, then you have direction. Time slows down and you know where you need to go. You know what must be done. The business that speaks to you, the art that you must create, the relationships you crave, the love that you desire. Your life is a mood board. We expect a beautiful world to form around us with zero context. We go through each day uninspired, letting the infinite brain rot conveyor belt of social media just drive our subconscious into the darkness. Of course, you're numb. You have no taste, no direction. There's no aura, no vibe to your action, no mood. So let's build it. Every director, actor, traveler, writer, athlete, every artist is in tune with what inspires them. It's a palette that you're cultivating. What makes your heart beat a bit faster? Take note of these things. If you're scrolling on Instagram and see something that really makes you stop and observe, and you really respect the work, or you find like an image from the past that really makes you feel something, save it. If you're on Pinterest, pin it and use the Find Similar Images tool. If a film has a visceral effect on you, and we all have our short list of movies that have done this for us, then look at work from the same director or the same screenwriter or the same actor that is in that film. And TV, same thing. You are a curator now, not a consumer. I find deep connection to things as goofy as subtle moments in a movie. Moments that meant a million different things to a million different people. A lot of those not even thinking anything of those particular scenes or moments, where I look at that and it clicked, it moved me, and literally could alter the trajectory of my life and guide my decision making. The writer, the director of that film has a similar mood board to mine. I obsessed over implementing that in my own life. What others skipped right past, I let alter my life entirely. I've literally traveled to other countries to go surf, to go live by the beach, to go live that lifestyle, to go live in this little city that reminded me of that collection of images that made me feel something that I found on Pinterest one day. Like, this is pretty wild stuff and it sounds nuts, but it really does guide everything I do. I became dead set on learning Spanish because as a kid, I remember watching Bond movies where he would out of nowhere like be able to speak another language and really like take control of a moment. And I thought that was the coolest thing ever. It made a lasting imprint on my life and on my eternal mood board. Every waking second, we are exposed to works of art, architecture, construction, mountains, ravines, street musicians, dancing, laughing, running. It is us who take notions from these everyday viewings and transmute those into art, into our life as we know it, inspiring others to do the exact same. There is inspiration everywhere. You just have to map it. Ambition is just caged energy if it doesn't have a vessel. You have to guide it. You have to tell it where to go. Let your desire breathe. And as I tend to do with these videos, I have a Notion template that I have personally used over the past handful of years to quite literally map every aspect of my life. And I have to preface this and say, like, this is not a goofy little planner. It's not a resolutions and goals like organizer thing. Everything I have put into this has happened. I put where I want to move, I mood board it, I chunk it down, and I do it, I move there. I put where I want to travel, romanticize that, and I go there. I do this because I not only chunk goals down into simple, digestible daily tasks, but because I mood board, visualize every minute detail of where I am going. This is super simple. I categorize my life into 4 simple categories. The first being base, where I'm living and where I will live. Hubs, where I will intentionally travel to, usually for weeks or months at a time. Financial, monetary goals, as I need resources to provide for the former. And then personal, fitness, mental, and spiritual goals. It's also important to note that no online tool is capable of operating a human life. Like, we're not machines. I attribute a lot of credit to this tool in terms of where I've gotten, only because it is the most efficient and optimized way for me to unravel all of the mess in my brain and curate these mood boards to where I can actually get excited about accomplishing certain necessities in my life. So we're going to jump to my screen here and go to my mapping template, kind of show you how to do this. You can just copy and paste this same idea into your own like software or notes app or whatever, or you can access the template in the description below. Okay, so here we are. As you can see, I have my base category here, hubs, financial, personal, and this is kind of over the past few years. I haven't mapped out my next year yet. I wanted to save that for myself, kind of personal, didn't want to really share that. But you can get access into kind of my bird's eye view of my life over the past handful of years. So about 3 years ago, I mapped out this Utah move. And as you can see, very simple. It would be a base where I would live, quarter, Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. That was of last year. And then I updated that obviously from 2022. So when I first mapped this out, this is where I mood board it. I romanticize it and go through and really find certain visuals that actually make me excited, that light a fire underneath me to where I actually like make the step to doing it. You know, like, it's very easy to come up with all this and say, yeah, it'd be cool if I moved to California or moved to the coast or moved to New York. But it just kind of stays there as a desire and as a what if. And for me, I find that this process really forces me to look at it every day and like, I have to do this. Like, I have to go live this out. It just looks too sick. Like, even as I look at it now, I'm like, dang, I kind of want to move back to Utah. But yeah, so that's the process there. And I can't stress the fact enough. Like, this isn't a thing where you just throw stuff on there. Like, oh, I want to move to LA. Okay, I'll put like pictures of the coast and get stock images. Like, this is a highly, highly vetted process. You have to only find certain images, certain videos that genuinely move you and speak to you. And I know it seems goofy, like, oh, it's just pictures. Like, what? Like, it's not that big of a deal. But if you don't take that seriously, then you'll just look at this every day and feel nothing and end up not doing it because, of course, like it doesn't move you at all. You're not going to feel motivated in any way. So underneath that, we have the engineering tab. This is where I actually take action. So I'm looking at this. I'm stoked. I'm like, yes, like this is going to be so cool. Like, I'm ready to go. Oh, well, conveniently, we have actual sites where you can take action. So here is where I would go and find a place to actually live with roommates. And then Found a gym, which I saw that all the local students and people my age would go to. So right then and there, membership, I know exactly where I can meet people, where I can immediately get involved in this new environment, in this new city. And then a rec league sign up link where, again, immediately throw yourself into a group where you have people that you see every week. Co-working, one of the cooler spots in the area, where you're in an ecosystem where you see people every day that are into wellness, into entrepreneurship, into building something, into whatever company they're working on, which I work remote and do my own thing. So that made a lot of sense. And then just a sauna cold plunge membership, which again would put me in the environment of people that were focusing on their wellness every day. So there you go. Mapped that all out. And sure enough, I went out and lived that lifestyle. I'll pop some videos and images up of what that looked like. And funny enough, it tends to always be pretty symmetrical with the mood board that I curate for that specific action that I take. So there you go. If we go to hubs and where I have traveled to, as you can see, again, all these are marked as done. I actually went out and did these things, and it's like the most freeing and incredible feeling ever to come back to this and be able to click on this and go from not started or booked or in progress to done. I did it. I actually lived that thing out. So if we go to Kensington, I went down here to stay just for a few nights on a layover on the way to Ibiza, and just mood boarded everything, what I wanted to kind of see and do, and what mood I wanted to surround myself when I did this trip. And I'll again pop some stuff up that kind of ended up being pretty close to what I mapped out here. So we have financial, just base income, and this can always change. I try to keep it at 2 to 4 within each category. So I'm actually just prioritizing things that need to be done instead of just putting a ton of stuff where I don't even focus on anything and there's just too much noise and I can't get anything done. So very simple financial goal that can change. I can, add something like, okay, I want to hit 20K months. I want to just really focus on income generation and doing that whole bit. But as I said, I have not yet mapped out my next year. So this could look very different. Personal, tennis, Spanish, both in progress. And even these, I kid you not, guys, I mood board everything. Every little thing is mood boarded. So if I don't have that romanticized trajectory in mind, I'm someone that just won't do it because I don't feel any excitement. I don't feel that fire underneath me, and this really helps me do that. So mood board for that, just imagery. It's I want to get out there and learn this thing. So even if I'm feeling down, I'm I'm just not that good at this. Why am I even doing this? I'm a 25-year-old trying to learn tennis. What's the point? I just go back to this. I'm okay, yeah, that's why. You want to live a certain lifestyle. You want to emulate certain things. You want to go out and test yourself and conquer athletically and learn as many sports as you can. And this is part of that. Again, engineering. I actually went through the site, found a coach, and worked on tennis with him 3 to 4 times a week, and still do. Very, very simple, very digestible. And that's just the bird's eye view. So if we go down into the executing tab, I went ahead and made this week. This is just an example. So I'm recording this on a Wednesday, but every time I do a new week, I'll do Sunday. Big theme for the week. So let's say this one's Spanish and income generation. So the related realities would then be Spanish and the base income reality. So just to show you what that looks like, it'll pull up all of my quarterly goals that we just looked at up here in the bird's eye view. If it will actually load, I type it in there, Spanish, and then we'll add base income. So now we have context. Now we know what we're going after, why this week matters, why each day matters. And you guessed it, there is a mood board within this as well. So it's this trickle down system to where you can't lose motivation. You can't lose the desire because there's too many gaps filled. There's no air getting out of this system. Like you're getting after it, you're getting it done. It's just an example of like an old money aesthetic video or image, pardon me there. Again, just all depends on your own kind of eye for the world and what moves you. So if we go down to high level, weak necessities, this is just kind of the things that have to get done. Like really make it apparent that you have to do X, Y, Z. And usually this is just 2 to 4 or maybe 6 things of, if it's a Spanish income generation week, okay, you have to get 2 hours of Spanish work done. You have to get 4 hours of sales and emails done to actually push that needle. Like you're aware of the things that actually change your luck and actually move things in the direction of where you're trying to go. If you're not aware of these things, you can very often find yourself going through an entire week not making any steps toward that higher level goal. And that is the point of not stopping at this, because again, you can map this all out, you can get excited, and then you just are doing the exact same stuff in your day-to-day. Like nothing's going to change. It's just natural law. Like it won't happen. Day to day, I honestly don't use this myself because I'm someone that likes to go with the flow, and kind of once I have my high level necessities down and I do all this, I don't really need to plan my days. But if you're someone who really likes structure, then this would make a lot of sense for you. You can plan out your morning, afternoon, evening, every single day. For instance, here, you just map out, okay, tomorrow morning, Monday, I'm going to sauna, cold plunge, and then journal. Afternoon, maybe reading, lunch with a friend, whatever the case. So again, up to you if you want to use that, but I personally just like to kind of go with the flow. So there you have it. That is the kind of chunking trickle down system. You can get nuts with this thing too. Like you can go to quarterly views this year in the executing tab, see all of your weeks from that perspective of, okay, this is where things actually change. Like I stacked up these weeks and these days, and like my life drastically changed, and you can see the power of that momentum. So I won't go full on in depth of this template right now, but that's really all you need to know. We're going to hop back out of this screen. Once you have your mood boards built, you have everything mapped out, it is time to document it. Social media is a tool to cement evidence of your growth, of where you have gone, to document the entire journey that you just mapped out. So you want to go move there. You want to have these certain personal goals. You want to make X amount of money. You want to travel to that place and then meet those people and do this and do that. You're documenting this journey of before and after. You have internalized this mood board across all of your goals, all your desires, and really tapped into what inspires you, the art that moves you. Now it is time to take all of that and externalize it through your own content, through your own mood board that people can then look at and take inspiration from themselves and apply it to their own process. Your brand, your content, and what you're meant to create now becomes very clear. Your life and your purpose are now eternally intertwined. We all have vessels of our choice. It doesn't have to be social media. It doesn't have to be making videos or making content for Instagram. Like it can be physical products. It can be like Christopher Nolan feeling at a loss of words watching Stanley Kubrick and feeling the never-ending desire to do the same in his own way through film. Steve Jobs seeing the Polaroid camera and not quitting until he created his own luxury piece of tech. I'm not here to tell you what you're meant to do or what you're meant to create. Your mood board will make that abundantly clear. All you have to do is go through that process of tapping in to these things. You are a mood, your life meaningful beyond measure. Others observing with their eyes in awe, taking snippets from your own journey, your own documentation, and putting those in their mood board. It is our duty as creators sent from creation to create, to be a mood for someone. Mood board your life and watch yourself live up to expectation. Take care, Landon.